we're going to redraft the 2021 NFL draft, and I figured this would be a fun thing for us to do because in my personal opinion, this 2021 draft could go down as one of the greatest, if not the greatest draft of all time. The personnel that they have in this draft is simply remarkable. And so, of course, classically, we're going to do our famous rock, paper, scissors, shoot for who goes first, second, third, or fourth. The one thing I will say is number 2 is locked in already because Joel will be selecting the Jets pick. And fortunately, with the amount of people that we have, he'll be able to draft 2nd and 14. Those are the Jets selections. But in terms of order, we're now going to rock, paper, scissors. Here we go. Let's do it, boys. Lock in, Riv. Rock, paper, scissors says shoot.
You're in 2.
Oh, okay.
3-way.
All right. Ready?
Right?
Yeah, of course. Says shoot. All right. Rock, paper, scissors says shoot.
What the fuck?
No way. That's paper.
Yeah, that's paper.
All right,
But
all right,
I'll go
we all lost.
It's paper, bro.
All right, let's go. Rock, paper, scissors says... Bro,
John,
you're
what
in.
are you doing?
John,
My fault.
We
be
all
serious.
tied, bro. Come on, lock in. Here we go. Rock, paper, scissors says shoot.
Yes.
All right, Riv
Okay,
gets pick
first
number Rock, paper,
All this to
scissors.
take
All
the
right,
same
are you
pick.
John, you know how rock, paper, scissors work, right?
Yeah.
All right,
Rock,
here we go.
paper,
All right,
scissors.
nice. Here we go. Rock, paper, scissors says shoot.
John is so
Rock,
confused.
paper, scissors says shoot. All right, you got the
Bro
third
went
pick. I
paper
got
every
fourth.
time.
He literally went paper.
I know. I realized it too late, and I'm really not upset because with the 4th pick, I'm happy. All right, Riv. I'm assuming I know you're going pick number 1, so nice.
With the
You
first
heard that
pick
shit.
in the NFL draft, young man River Brown, new owner of the Jaguars, officially takes Trevor Lawrence. I mean, was it ever in doubt? You still take the generational talent, especially after what he just did in the playoffs. Hindsight is so beautiful because we get to see shit like that. Down 27-7, threw 4 interceptions in the first half. Second half, put the team on his back, carried them to a W. They made the playoffs. Jacksonville's going to run that division for a long time. So the number 1 pick does not change. I go Trevor Lawrence.
I like it. All right, Joel, do you know where you're going?
I know where I'm going.
All right, here we go.
With the 2nd pick in the 2021 NFL drafts, the Jets will be selecting Jamar Chase, wide receiver from LSU. Justin Fields was intriguing. The Jets do not have a quarterback. Maybe they get one this offseason. Truthfully, I do not trust anybody to develop Justin Fields. I hope we're going to draft Justin Fields at some point here. Who knows, maybe even number 3 overall. If he went to someone like the 49ers, have so much more faith in that coaching staff. The quarterback, positional importance matters, but give me Jamar Chase, an absolute freak at receiver.
The best team. Damn.
I'll say this, Joel.
That was a good pick.
We were talking about it before the show. Micah might be next best available.
It's a conversation for sure.
I just think that I understand, especially with the way that the NFL has moved toward it's very offensive oriented, and Jamar Chase is one of the best receivers in the game. But still, that presence that Micah Parsons gives on the line, his versatility as a defender as well, I just could not pass up on Micah Parsons if I'm the Jets. Understanding how he's turned out, and of course Jamar Chase as well, but I just think edge is so much more important and crucial. Not that you guys need it in hindsight, but imagine Micah Parsons on this defense also.
I think this Jets offense needs more juice than the defense does.
They're calling you
Not
Flip
wrong,
Jr.
but now
Flip Jr.?
Yeah.
that's
For what?
Because they said you were so hyped about Fields to not take him at 2.
Well, because I don't trust the Jets coach.
It was Joel. Joel called Joel.
that's
I don't know. Is this the real Joel?
I don't know. It might not be.
So, bro, I mean, yes, you would have now in hindsight Jamar Chase and Garrett Wilson, but isn't having Garrett Wilson in hindsight give you a little bit more flexibility of what you do with this
Still
offense?
need another receiver.
You're really out on Elijah Moore like that.
I think there's a decent chance he gets traded.
Because Elijah Moore was one of the more impressive receivers.
He was. Jamar Chase fucking clears.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not going
Not a
to sit here and debate
conversation.
that. But I only mean in the sense of you would get Micah Parsons. That's
be
the only
huge.
reason why I'd be different.
I personally think out of all positions, quarterback is first. I would be taking wide receiver second. I think right now in today's NFL, give me the elite wide receiver. Micah, I mean, you can make the argument they're both on the same level. Chase is a top 5 receiver in the league. Parsons probably top 3, right? Maybe he has a little bit of an edge there. But I mean, look what that Jamar Chase did to that Bengals offense, right? Look what he did to that team. That's the huge reason why they're constantly in these AFC Championship games and making these moves in the playoffs. Joe Burrow is fantastic, don't get me wrong, but a ton of that is Jamar Chase. Obviously, T. Higgins has to go into it.
Not going to disagree. All right, John, you ready? Pick 3?
Yes, sir.
All right, lock in.
With the 3rd overall pick, the San Francisco 49ers will be selecting Justin Fields.
Okay.
Kyle Shanahan finally gets a quarterback. Look, Micah Parsons is special, but what have we seen the last couple of years when you don't have the quarterback? You're not going to go all the way to the Super Bowl. Justin Fields, the 3rd quarterback to ever post over 1,000 yards and 8 rushing TDs in a season, joining Michael Vick and a guy in Lamar Jackson you want for your Jets.
Love that.
The floor is high with Justin Fields because of that rushing ability. In San Francisco, Julian's new heights.
First of all, John, beautiful fucking pick.
It was a great
I
pick.
love that pick.
It was a great pick.
Fields, one of my guys. Listen,
twin.
I'm going to tell you, twin. I'm going to tell you this right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't pick who I think you're going to pick here, you're going to put me on casual watch for the next pick. So I think you should pick this guy, but if you don't, I'm going to be fucked. I don't think you should do that, but we'll see.
I think there's a pretty clear answer at 4.
I pray to God it is, but if it's not, it's going to put me on bad watch.
All right. I'm
going need.
I think Joel wants me to take Jalen Waddle.
I wasn't even thinking of Jalen
I
Waddle.
think Joel also might want me to take Kyle Pitts.
I'm fucked.
Now,
I was
really? Okay, well, I'm happy because with the 4th overall selection, I'm going neither of those options. I'm going Rashawn Slater.
I'm fucked.
What?
They desperately need offensive line. Rashawn Slater is clearly the best offensive lineman in
Parsons is
this
still-
draft. Parsons is still in the draft. Yes, I understand, but I'm sorry. I need to address an obvious need. This offensive line, you need to protect your franchise quarterback in Joe Burrow. It has been 2 seasons now where we've seen in the playoffs where the offensive line has been horrendous.
And has skipped the 4th pick.
Bro, the 4th pick's the Falcons.
Fourth pick's the Falcons. I was gonna say you have Jake Matthews and Kalen McGarry.
Bro, I'm drunk. I accidentally put the Bengals first.
Thank
With the
God.
With the
Is that
4th overall
Hit
pick,
my
the
music. I'm
Falcons
shacking
are
a fool.
selecting.
With the 4th overall pick, the Atlanta Falcons will be selecting, yes, Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
I
That's why he
apologize.
fucked me up.
I apologize. I don't know what I was doing.
Justified.
I accidentally put the Bengals over the Falcons. Understandable. But yes,
Got
Micah
lost when I
Parsons.
said Joe Burrow.
I apologize.
You're good.
No, it needs to be 100% Micah Parsons, the best defender in this class, right next to Pat Surtain, no doubt about it. The importance of cornerback is definitely there, but the presence and the versatility that Micah Parsons allows you, you need to go that route regardless of the needs here. I apologize. I genuinely have. Look, Joel can even attest to it. Bengals 4.
You made a Giannis-like mistake, my friend.
I did.
Falcons 5. Yes.
All right, Riv, are you ready for your 5th pick?
Kinda,
overall?
sorta.
All right, here we
The
go.
Bengals are selecting.
This is the
here.
Bengals. I apologize.
Let's name it out before you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
The
Yes.
5th. This one's actually tough for me because I thought about it and I was like, should Bengals take Waddle? And because T. Higgins is a number 1. I truly believe T.
Okay.
Higgins is a number
I don't
1.
disagree.
And Waddle's would complement him very well. Or do the Bengals go offensive line, pick Slater or Creed Humphrey, another guy who was a stud? It's tough. Let me go look at my. You know what? Cue
It's
it.
easy.
Fuck
All
it.
right, here we go.
With the 5th pick in the Cincinnati Bengals NFL draft, I'm gonna go Rashawn Slater.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good selection.
Yeah,
It's a good selection.
I'm gonna take Rashawn Slater. I'll stick with that pick. I think he's been a
Think you
great.
make me look less stupid.
Well, I was gonna
Appreciate
pick him at first because I thought you were gonna go Michael Parsons, but then you.
Yeah, I
came to
made
your
a
senses.
mistake, honestly.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna lose Jamar Chase, you may as well get one of the few guys who can cover him.
No, they need an offensive line. They need
Nah,
offensive
they need
line
offensive
bad.
line. It's
I feel
not
like they're
desperate to get.
fine.
Listen,
No?
I have
Well, I
Pat
don't have a
Surtain.
receiver, so I need it more than now. I need it more now.
I have Pat Surtain early
lost
off my
Chase.
board on my draft that I did.
Yeah,
Of course
he's
you're
high
happy.
for sure.
But of course,
I'm
absolutely.
giggling.
But I do have him after Michael Parsons. And again, for necessity, I would still take Rashawn Slater over Pat Surtain,
The Jets taking Chase made me rethink my offense. I no longer don't have a top 5, arguably a top 5
You're right.
receiver in the league. I now have T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, and I have Joe Mixon. Anyways, so I have to reconfigure my team. I need more offensive line as opposed to now if I had those 3, I don't necessarily need offensive line because I can get things out quick. I can do things fast, but now what I don't have, I have to kind of bulk it up. So I could have went Waddle, but
I saw your vision. I saw your vision. All right,
Oh, this is tough. Oh, do you want this? You Dolphins. Do you want to take this?
bro, that is so sweet.
Good,
of
because
you.
I can't make a decision. I'll be honest.
Dude, it's
That's
Go
easy.
for it.
I think it's pretty easy.
It's
for
easy.
them.
Okay. Maybe I'm bugging.
Now, the way that we're going to live is hindsight. Absolutely. Because it's 2020.
Sure.
And the Dolphins acquired Tyreek Hill. Does wide receiver become a necessity if you're the Miami Dolphins? I would not say it's a necessity.
Made them one of the most dangerous offenses in the league.
Absolutely. Jalen Waddle was all world. But that was when Tua Tagovailoa was at the helm. When Tua was not there, Waddle did not score a touchdown. Neither did Tyreek Hill. So it's all dependent on Tua, of course.
This is easy.
But without a doubt, they need secondary help. They need secondary
You are
help.
not serious.
He's
I'm
taking
100
PS too.
I am
You are
100% selecting Pat Surtain with the 6th overall selection. Xavier
offensive
Howard.
line?
You do not love Tua.
Why
You
is
do
that?
not love him.
You should take
That's
an
not true.
O-line.
No.
If you
I
did,
don't
you would
need-
take Penei Sewell.
Penei Sewell.
Wait, in
Oh,
hindsight, though, he's with all the concussions, you wouldn't take offensive lineman?
That's
What
what
was
I
it?
was thinking.
What was a strong crutch of the Miami Dolphins this season was their lack of defense. Xavier Howard dropped off from the usual Xavier Howard that we've seen. Byron Jones can't stay on the field.
And Tua getting hit.
Tua, of course, the offensive line was an issue, but Tua, the year prior, was able to get the ball out quickly. It did not matter that the offensive line was bad, although it was horrendous, the worst in the NFL. He still was able to get the ball out quick and still move the offense down the field. And this year, yes, he did have a little bit more time. The Dolphins brought in Connor Williams. They brought in Teron Armstead. Robert Hunt is a solid right guard. This offensive line is already set with the moves that they made in free agency. It wasn't essential, absolutely crucial that they get another offensive line piece, although it would have been nice. I think you need to address this defense, and Pat Surtain, in my opinion, is the best fit, best necessity for the Miami Dolphins.
Wow. Austin Jackson stinks at right tackle.
He's not that good at all.
But
He's better than Jesse Davis. And Jesse Davis
on
was
the
the worst
Steelers.
lineman I've ever seen in my life.
Joe, Surtain's elite, but I feel like you're taking the George Patton route here. Going with the cornerback, that's elite, but your quarterback's going to be dead. And what good is that to you?
I feel differently for the fact that Tua is able to read the field very quickly and still make quick reads and get the ball
He
out
did
fast.
that this season.
He
He
did
still
that this
got
season.
hurt.
He didn't
Multiple
last.
He
times.
did that this season, but it was due to him trying to make something out of nothing both times. Against Buffalo, he was extending
He's
out
gonna
of the
be asked to do
pocket,
that a
got
lot.
pushed.
It's just the NFL.
But he wasn't asked to do that his second year in the league. He was not scrambling outside the pocket as much as he was this year because he had a little bit more time than he did the year prior. Last year, his second year, he was getting the ball out faster than any quarterback in the league. The RPOs they were running, it were having people talk about Tua as an RPO merchant. He can't run anything else. It's the only way that he can be effective. But he showed that he has that ability to play that type of style of football and still win games. Now, yes, do I feel you? Do they need offensive line help? You could say so. But in my opinion, I think the defense was the main reason why the Dolphins did not win certain amount of games this season. The offense was prolific this season. And that was without the offensive line being solid, being one of the best in the league, I should say.
Don't you think of guys like Tyson Campbell, though, later in the draft with that pick they have later at 18?
I'd rather listen, I'm drafting PS2. I have arguably the best cornerback in the game now.
It's not ridiculous. That's why I couldn't decide because I was between PS2. Waddle is still
course,
there, and
absolutely.
the offensive lineman. That's why you can't really go wrong. I mean, you're getting an All-Pro basically, whichever way you go. It's just a matter of do you want to prioritize offense, protection, or defense? Maybe go best player available.
All right, so that means, John, you're on the board next.
Would I go 7? Who do you want, John?
Facts.
Number 7, we got the Lions here.
All right, you cool with that?
Yeah. You are
Oh,
cool
sorry.
with
Go
that.
ahead. Yeah.
You want to go?
No, go ahead.
Cool. With the 7th overall pick, the Detroit Lions will be taking Penei Sewell. I think it's a rather easy pick for them. The interior offense line's a little bit of a question mark outside center, but you get a tackle, either spot he can play. He has so much potential. He's still 22 years old after his second season. Sewell can be the best offensive lineman from this entire draft class and also the best tackle in the NFL in a couple of years. So for Jared Goff, man, we're going to protect him, make sure he's upright so the Lions can win playoff games.
I'm fine with that. I mean, I had Justin Fields going here on my mock draft. You went Justin Fields a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That's more than okay, especially going to the Niners. That makes a ton of sense for me. But the reason why the Lions are such a beautiful destination, if you're one of these potential quarterbacks that could be drafted, is that this offensive line is the second best offensive line in the National Football League. And I say number 2 with respect because what the Eagles have is unbelievable. Mm-hmm. To be number 2 to that unit is no disrespect at all. The Lions have built an unbelievable offensive line, and whoever comes in, whether it's Jared Goff, maybe a C.J. Stroud, maybe a Bryce Young, depending how things shake out, Will Levis, correct?
Yes.
Thank God.
Yes.
They're going to be protected by one of the best units in the game, so Penei Sewell going to the Lions is 100% okay with me.
I'm
Joel?
up now?
Yes, you are.
Okay. 8th pick. All right, I'll be honest. I don't really have my selection ready. So we can talk about just a little bit of the options we have. We have the
All right, talk to
Panthers
me.
up at 8, number all in this draft. In real life, they took J.C. Horn, who is still, I think, very in play here. Quarterback, Mac Jones, and Trey Lance. Obviously, they have no quarterback answer. They're looking for someone possibly this year in the 2023 NFL draft. And then you also have probably a wide receiver, Smitty, Waddle, if you want to go that way. So those are the 3 or 4 ways I'm looking right now. Waddle kind of feels a little repetitive to DJ Moore, like play style wise, size wise. I think Waddle's better for sure, but just play style, I'd rather have a bigger body probably opposite DJ Moore.
Kyle Pitts is an option too.
Kyle Pitts is definitely an option. You know, big body, 6'6". J.C. Horn, and then quarterback. This is tough here. I'm still really high on Trey Lance. I like what he's doing. And you have Frank Reich here too, which makes things interesting. He could develop quarterbacks.
Being optimistic.
I'll be honest, I was kind of hoping the Jets at 14 would kind of luck into Trey Lance.
Nuts.
This is tough.
They will, though.
Let the board speak to you.
This is tough.
You got counter on? Countdown time?
Oh, yeah, you got 2 seconds.
I got 2 seconds. All right, hit me.
All right, here we go.
With the 8th pick in the 2021 NFL Redraft, the Carolina Panthers will be taking quarterback Trey Lance. Listen,
Wow,
I get it. There's good guys on the board. J.C. Horn, Waddle. He's going to be fine. He's going to be
speaking in.
No, well, now we're going from today forward. I think with Frank Reich there, he can develop quarterbacks. Trey Lance, we don't know. He's played and started and finished 3 or 4 games. He's had some moments where he looks really good. He's had some moments where he doesn't look like he's played football in a bit. The Panthers need an identity. I think that's their biggest need. They have not had a quarterback. I mean, their best quarterback in the last 7 years has been Teddy Bridgewater, right? We're looking at a situation where it's really post-Cam Newton. They've had no identity offensively. They've been going after quarterback, trying to get it right. While I understand maybe wanting to go for the sure thing with Waddle or J.C. Horn or whoever you might decide, I think the upside here with Trey Lance, possibly getting a franchise quarterback, succeeds that or supersedes that.
All right, Riv.
You want me to go for your team?
Oh, facts, it is the Denver Broncos.
I'll go next. I got the Eagles.
All right.
Whoa, hold. That means I'll go twice.
That's okay.
Okay.
That's all right.
Oh, I'll get the Bears.
All right. Yeah. Now, I don't have PS2 available to me. Obviously, that was the Broncos selection, and in hindsight, it's one of the best draft picks of the last however many years. Unbelievable. Great job, George Patton. I see that Kyle Pitts is still on the board, and I understand that tight end is a necessity for us right now. I understand that J.C. Horn is available, and yes, J.C. Horn is one of the better up-and-coming cornerbacks in this league. He was phenomenal this season. One of the lowest quarterback ratings allowed was J.C. Horn. He was amazing. Yes, he did have the injury. I believe he broke his wrist, I believe was the injury. If you could fact check me on that one. But J.C. Horn is intriguing here.
This world, you don't have PS2.
I don't have PS2. My secondary would be rough.
Broke his wrist.
But I am following your lead. And with the 9th pick overall, the Denver Broncos will be selecting Kyle Pitts because we need a generational weapon, honestly.
I feel like that's so disrespectful.
Why is that? I should take J.C. Horn here?
He's a huge J.C. Horn fan.
No, rightfully so.
I feel like it's disrespectful because we look at PS2 as let me start by saying this. He deserves that well respect.
Thank you.
So let me say before
arguably the best in the game.
We look at PS2 in this light of arguably the best of the game, and he deserves his respect. He's been great, but you know, in Denver being on TV every fucking week is also a product of showing him every week. But what we forget is that J.C. Horn is better than a lot of guys we have in front of him. He's right. He's not better than PS2. I don't think that. But he's in that conversation. Like, he's elite. Like, he's one of the elite young quarterbacks in the league. And what sucks is he plays in Carolina. They're not winning. And I just feel like this was disrespectful.
Okay.
I'm not saying
I'll tell you why it's not disrespectful.
Yeah, I feel like this was disrespectful because there isn't a major gap with PS2 and J.C. Horn. You could have still went cornerback with J.C. Horn and still had that elite defense. Because I guarantee you, if PS2 was here, you'd have took PS2, no question. But the fact that you didn't take J.C. Horn implies that you think it's a gap. Am I wrong?
I do think there is a gap with PS2 and J.C. Horn.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
But it's not a huge gap. Okay. No, it's not. What I do understand is that Kyle Pitts allows versatility. Imagine how versatile you have to be for you to be probably your team's best weapon, and they're using you as a blocker because you're so damn good at blocking that they need you to block up front because their offensive line is so bad. Now, Denver, in hindsight, we're living in hindsight.
Which means Russell is bad.
We have Russell.
He's bad.
Okay,
as
you
of right
can say
now.
that, but he also gets offensive line help with all the injuries that we had to the offensive line. Now Kyle Pitts comes in, and we have that safety blanket there also, with him being one of the best deep threats, one of the bigger physical bodies deep down the field as well. And with Russell Wilson being one of the better deep ball throwers prior to last season, too, I take that into account. And I understand now Sean Payton's my head coach, and now things really start to open up. I'm really expanding here and why I'm trying to validate my Kyle Pitts
I like
selection.
the pick. I like it. People listen, I think a lot of people maybe don't like Kyle Pitts or think he's overrated because of fantasy football. I feel like fantasy football kind of
just FYI.
Almost ruined Kyle Pitts. Like you see these dynasty rankings and he's above Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews. You're like, hold the fuck on. But Kyle Pitts, like his rookie year, 1,000 yards as a tight end. You never see that. Only Mike Ditka is the only rookie tight end to ever do that. He's 6'6", he's 240, 250, runs a 4.4. He played at Florida in the SEC, was phenomenal. Comes in his rookie year, dominates. Like Kyle Pitts is a phenomenal player. He just was hurt this year and obviously wasn't used to his talents because since he is a tight end, he's in line a lot. He blocks, especially for the Falcons, who were so heavily running the ball with Marcus Mariota. They weren't passing the ball. They were going to have games where Mariota has 20 attempts, right? And even if Kyle Pitts has a great target share of 20%, he's getting 5 targets, and maybe you're lucky if those 5 targets turns into 3 catches for 40 yards. So he was in a situation last year where, number one, he got hurt, missed 10 weeks or whatever it was, and then number two, was in a system that is so run heavy, it's impossible no matter who you are to really put up a good statistical season.
I just think with obviously we have the beautiful thing of hindsight, so we could look at things differently. So
crystal clear.
Makes the conversation way more funner. With Russ playing bad, there's still a gamble if Kyle Pitts can even unlock him. But with that defense, it was so elite because you had that guy on the outside that can defend any receiver in the league. And J.C. Horn is of that level. And then you give him, because you give him Sean Payton, you put him in a position where he has better secondary help and a defense that can help him, which Carolina, he didn't consistently have that. Now you probably look at J.C. Horn in a different light. That's why I'm just like, the Kyle Pitts, the talent is there. He's a stud. But J.C. Horn gives you pretty much the same thing PS2 gives you. With Denver, you still get that elite defense, and you still get to rock out one of the best man corners in the league.
Riv, you're spitting. You're saying a lot of facts. I'm not disagreeing.
The
reason why I feel more comfortable also is, yes, we're a top 5 defense. We're top 5 defense with PS2. What do we drop to without PS2? Probably 10. Middle of the pack, right? Yeah. I'll give PS2 that much respect. We were the worst offense in the league.
Yeah.
The worst.
I understand that part. It's not good, not ideal.
We need personnel. Yeah. Need it badly.
And JC only played in 3 games as rookie. I mean, Patrick Surtain. We have veterans like Darius Slay coming on the show and saying, look, we're taking notes on that guy. And it's not just him, it's Richard Sherman. Every single elite cornerback has looked at him and said, like, there is an even deeper element to his technique, his tackling, and there may not be a better press man cover.
No,
PS2 is a dog. I just think the gamble on Russ, like even with Kyle Pitts, you're still gambling on Russ being back to normal. With J.C. Horn, there is no gamble.
It really irks me that you're a Russ hater.
What the fuck?
Should he have gone with Mac Jones?
Oh, God, no. Mac Jones shouldn't be touched in the top 10. You think I'm a Russ hater?
You are. I know you don't like him.
I actually don't have an ill will towards him. I'm just
You're very vocal about how shitty he was. It
I'm
bothers me.
I'm actually vocal about a lot of guys who are shitty. If they're shitty, I'm very loud with it, to be fair.
Unless it's his guy.
But then you're super quiet about Jalen Hurts being a dog.
Not necessarily. I think me and Dehls have had internal conversations, though. About
internal, so off the podcast?
No, we've actually had it in the middle of you guys yelling. Me and Dehls actually have our little conversation.
I have great ears. I listen to everything that goes on.
But it took you till the Super Bowl to be like, okay.
Did I not
so
tell
it took him to the biggest game of his career.
But I did tell him, like, week 5, I said, I have a seat after playoffs. I did tell him that.
It's just interesting. That's the only reason I say that.
I was very consistent, though. I didn't jump ship. I said I'll wait after the playoffs. And then I even tweeted, Jalen Hurts got it. I said that. I said that. I tweeted that.
All right, Riv, you're on the clock with the Philadelphia Eagles.
I think this shit is easy.
Yeah?
What are we doing here?
Okay,
Hit my music. This man fell back into the laps.
It's nuts.
With the pick, we still go to the Super Bowl. We still have our GOAT.
He's still available. And by still available, I mean Jalen Waddle.
I don't give a fuck. We go Smitty. Smitty. We don't. For one thing, we can pick a guy in the 3rd round and turn him into an elite offensive line.
You're not capping.
So we don't need no big name, high profile guy. No, we bring our guy back to Philly, Smitty, who had an amazing year.
Take the bias hat off. Waddle's better.
Sure?
I'm positive.
I listen.
I like Waddle more.
Listen. Waddle's a speed demon. I'm not, but I like Smitty's hands. I like Smitty in the slot.
What's the difference in hands?
I've seen Waddle catch like this.
I think Smitty has better hands. I do think he has better hands.
But
it's marginal.
No, it's not. It's Smitty has.
Waddle dropped a couple in that last game against the Bills.
Smitty has some dog-like hands. But I do think Waddle's better. But you got to bring the hometown home.
I
Like,
respect
you got to
that.
bring him home, bro. You can't pick nobody else with this
I
pick.
can't hate on it.
Yeah, so
I can't.
It's a 3-level guy. I mean, true X upside.
Fucking shit.
No deal.
He'll be better than Waddle.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, I was definitely chatting that before the draft also. I thought that Smitty would be better, but the way that I see Waddle play and the fact that he broke the record for receptions by a rookie.
No, he's. I think their paths are definitely different.
Yeah.
But I just think Smitty has more in his game than Waddle. Like, Waddle's a speed demon. I get that.
His
After
route
the-
running's still great.
route
After
run-
the catch, I think Waddle's better.
No, yeah, because he's a speed demon.
Route running
But-
is
Makes guys
Devon.
miss.
Is
but I
Smith.
think Smitty inside outside, like the way he catches it in the possession in the slot, I think he can still beat you, be a burner and beat you. I think he just has a little bit more in his game, so that's why I lean Smitty. But Waddle's better. Though.
Another thing that I don't sit great with in terms of evaluating Smitty is that it took till for A.J. Brown to enter. Of course, it's tier 2, but A.J. Brown entered this offense for Smitty to really.
That's why I
cook
said
up
like
and
their
be great.
paths are different.
But it's Jalen Hurts taking a step too.
That is also a fact.
Don't you also think Mike McDaniel that his scheme has elevated Jalen Waddle to an even higher level?
That's fair too.
Yes and no. I say yes for the fact that the yards after catch was significant.
Yeah.
For
Big
the
time.
difference between
Oh, yeah.
the year prior, his rookie
They're
season,
big
year
play
2.
guys, AJ Brown. So yeah,
Facts. But I also see that he was still productive even without the yards after catch. He needed to be the number one target week in, week out, and he was able to provide for
No,
them.
yeah, that's why like
As
I
the
ain't-
one.
Yeah, I ain't mad at like if you have Waddle over. I agree. I just think like when you break it down a little bit, Smitty has some
He
things.
fits
Like,
the offense, in your opinion, better?
than our offense.
In your
yeah,
offense.
I think
Okay.
he does. I think Miami McDaniels is perfect for Waddle. I think even if Waddle went to Kansas City, that's perfect for Waddle. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think
That's
Smitty,
terrifying.
yeah, more of like a march down type of offense. You would probably rather have Smitty just because he has better hands. You
I'd
know?
rather gouge my eyes out than see that.
Oh no, Waddle to Kansas City, we're fucked.
I would die.
We're cooked.
You want to go again? Chicago Bears. I know you're a huge Chicago Bears guy.
yeah.
Do you have the pick?
I actually do.
Oh,
Let
really?
me just write mine.
All right, go ahead.
I think I know where I would go here. I wonder if Riv would go the same way.
I think you have to go here, but
I think we fucked it up because I'm not getting 14. We're gonna have to redo it, but it's fine.
No, you're just going to get 14 regardless.
Yeah, facts. But originally I was supposed to get it like
No, we said
just
fuck order.
naturally, but then yeah.
Once
I
you-
needed two
Or
because
Once you said that I got the Dolphins,
Yeah.
then that's when shit got all out of
That's-
whack.
and the Broncos came right after, so I gave him that pick.
No, and I appreciate that a lot.
Some
All right.
guys on the board for the Bears: Landon Dickerson,
Creed
Waddle,
Humphrey's still up here.
Creed Humphrey,
J.C. Horn is still up here.
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones is
Hufanga.
yeah,
Amon Ross
ABC.
St. Brown.
No, there's a lot of dogs.
Christian
Najee,
Darrisaw.
Etienne.
No, he's up here.
Another
I got him right now.
ETN.
All right, are you ready?
Greg Rousseau,
Fryer,
ABT, Javonte Williams, Christian Barrymore, Jalen Phillips, Trey Lance.
Ah!
Oh, he's gone. Trey Lance is
Facts.
gone.
I want
Talanoa
this guy.
Ufanga.
Wasn't picking him either. I have him up here too. Cue my fucking music.
Hook up.
With the 11th pick in the Chicago Bears draft, I am going with Creed Humphrey. I am going to build up this offensive line from start to finish. I understand Mac Jones is on the board. I understand we got a couple receivers on the board. But if realistically, looking at the situation that we're in, I just feel like building an offensive lineup right now, especially with this class, you got to go perfect. I don't think you can miss on Creed Humphrey. I think I can miss on Mac Jones and be okay next season. I'm looking at the future, looking at the plan. I have $120 million in cap. I don't necessarily need a receiver right now. I can be cool.
I would have gone receiver.
I would have gone Waddle. I would
I
have
could have
definitely
went
gone
Waddle,
Jalen
but
Waddle.
I feel like offensive line. I don't have a quarterback, so I don't need a receiver. I need
Don't you think a receiver is going to impact you more than a center?
to a degree, yes. But I think I don't know because
we are
they
living
control
in
the
hindsight.
whole line.
They have the number 1 overall pick.
That's true. And it's also a lot easier to find a receiver nowadays than an elite center.
Creed Humphrey's different.
Lucas Patrick missed half of this last
Would you
season.
rather have an elite center or elite receiver?
That's easy
I
for
don't,
me.
I don't think Waddle's an elite receiver though.
Oh yeah.
Borderline. He's
at least
at the minimum
I'm sorry,
in
my
year
shit
2
limited.
entering.
Just to be
That's
fair.
fine.
Yeah, my
What-
receiver
so
he's
what,
not
top
top 7
5?
guys.
He's not top 5, top 7.
might be longer.
There's hella good.
There's a
so
ridiculous
many
amount
good
of-
receivers.
That's why you
Receivers.
have to kind of expand.
He's like around the 10th
So is DeAndre
receiver.
Hopkins elite or no?
He's still elite. He's better than.
He's
Waddle.
started like
All right.
7, honestly.
Is AJ Brown elite or no?
Yes.
So
They're
what-
like the 7, 8, 9 guys.
Waddle's just outside of it.
Yeah, he's like
It's like 11, 12.
He's like what we would have Stafford. Nah, let me not
so
say
from
Stafford.
10 and beyond, in your opinion, which is fine,
Great.
they're not a
CeeDee Lamb.
CeeD's not elite yet.
I wouldn't say he's elite either,
He's
but
great.
I know
he's
he's
damn
a CD guy.
close.
That's why I was
Love
trying to
CD. He's not
pull
elite
at
yet.
him.
He's great. He's great. He had problems with his hands beginning of the
Like
year.
I'm a huge
he's great.
Amon-Ra guy.
I think he's great.
I am fringe to say he's elite, but if I can't say CD's elite, and I understand people get really, really upset when I take him on over CD.
It's AJ, it's DeAndre Hopkins, it's Chase. That's the next tier. Amon-Ra, CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Waddle, Devonta Smith, DJ Moore. Like those are the next tier of guys.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's like
I agree.
Yeah, fringe.
Deebo Samuel, elite or no?
No.
So, do you want to make the Dallas Cowboys selection?
I'm down, unless you want to.
I can make the Cowboys selection.
I also would like to make the Cardinals. That's my last pick.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. So I'm gonna make the Cowboys selection. You're gonna make the Chargers selection. Joel's gonna make the Jets.
And let him do Patriots too.
If you want to do Patriots, that's fine.
That.
All right, and then you can get. All right, here we go. So, with the 12th overall selection, the Dallas Cowboys will be selecting J.C. Horn. Now, their original plan was to draft Pat Surtain. And when the Broncos selected Pat Surtain before them, they decided to trade back with the Eagles to screw over the Giants. Don't forget that. The Giants were in prime position to select Devonta Smith. The Cowboys traded with the Eagles, said, hey, we'd rather the Eagles have them than the Giants, but at least we get some capital for it. And then they lucked into Micah Parsons. That was huge for them. But I'm taking J.C. Horn here because, again, their original plan was to go cornerback. And I think they do need secondary help. J.C. Horn, next to Trayvon Diggs, makes them one of the best duos in the National Football League.
That might be the best.
I think that this was an obvious selection for me. I did, in my original mock draft, have them selecting Creed Humphrey for the fact that their center did retire. Travis Fredrickson, I believe. I don't want to get his name incorrect.
Yep.
He did retire, and that was a curveball for them. I feel like that would have been an instant replacement for them. Help out this offensive line, especially when you have your franchise quarterback, Dak Prescott. But I'm going to go with J.C. Horn here. All right, so let's recap this redraft of ours. This is the pick-aside 2021 NFL redraft. With the number 1 overall selection, we went Trevor Lawrence to the Jaguars. With the 2nd overall pick, we went Jamar Chase to the Jets. 3rd overall to the Niners, we went Justin Fields. 4th overall to the Falcons, we went Micah Parsons. 5th overall to the Bengals, we went Rashawn Slater. 6th overall, Miami Dolphins, we went Pat Surtain. 6th overall to the Lions, 7th overall to the Lions, we went Penei Sewell. 8th overall to the Panthers, we went Trey Lance. 9th to the Broncos, we went Kyle Pitts. 10th overall to the Eagles, we went Devonta Smith. 11th to the Chicago Bears, we went Creed Humphrey. 12th to the Cowboys, we went J.C. Horn. 13th to the Chargers, we went Talanoa Hufanga. 14th to the Jets, we went Elijah Vera Tucker. 15th to the Patriots, we went Jalen Waddle. And 16th, and the final pick in our pick-aside redraft, we went Amon-Ra St. Brown.